iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiskiTimes.co.za. Mamelodi Sundowns 2, Supersport United, Mamelodi Sundowns Light, Mamelodi Sundowns Development nil. It's Ronwen Williams, it's Tebogo Mokoena, it's even Ikram Reynas, it's Obrimo Diba, it's Sipho Mbule there in the stands, we saw him. So, Supersport United, Mamelodi Sundowns Light. What did you make of the game, sir?
Yeah, sharp kunjani kuleko.
I'm good. I'm trying to break your concentration.
Thank you kalakathi. I think
Yes, sir.
Budisi justice. Oi bafowethu. To be honest with you Nkuleko, maybe tisiqale so before ngiphula. Credit to Mamelodi Sundowns, coach Mancoba, Steve Fortloza for getting a result today. It's a Tshwane derby. It's not easy winning a derby. That's the first thing. And then secondly, I want to speak about the game. For me, good tempo. Very good first half for Mamelodi Sundowns.
Are you happy with that? The playing area, the circulating of the ball in that playing area, and then the not being able to threaten Supersport, especially the first half?
For me, Nkuleko, I'm very convinced. A very convincing win. I'm happy with the style of play. Actually, that's our soul, Shushine and piano. That's exactly how Mamelodi Sundowns plays. Do not rush. Take your time. Think. Use your brain, try and open spaces, wait for the players to jump. But what I checked in the first half, Kevin Hunt approached this game very defensively, in my opinion. And already it sent a message to Mamelodi Sundowns players that these guys are not going to attack. Firstly, Uronza plays as high as possible. That line is very high in Mamelodi Sundowns. You're looking at Ulibusa, you're looking at Ukekane. Very high line, Uronza ungena in between. Ukutse support, but very good first half as well from Umabue. He played as a recycler. That's why the detail of football is Ukutse for me. He plays football like a legend. Idlali ball like a pace, like a two-touch passing, short, deep pass. Untwana ukwazi read games, got the right football intelligence as well. I think for me, that's his best position, where he plays as a centre back and then a jump into the next line in midfield. But today played a little bit higher because Kevin Hunt and the three, which is the three didn't allow him to come deeper so that as collect. So that responsibility was given to Uronza. Understand? But for me, one of the reasons
why...
You're
struggling to break, though. You're struggling to make anything meaningful.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
The soul of Sundowns looked back, but I thought it's Sundowns parodying itself. I cannot really explain this thing as Sintu. It was Sundowns pretending to be Sundowns, which is not even a criticism actually. But I'm thinking maybe in a month's time, if they continue like this, maybe the tempo will pick up. It's like they could have done this in preseason, that this is how we're going to play. By this point, they would have been ready to play at a higher tempo. Because in the Champions League, everyone is going to regroup. Everyone, if you play in front of Al-Ahly, they're going to regroup and they're going to be dangerous once they dispossess you of that ball. This is very similar to the Sundowns that we've seen in 2022-2023, the best team in Africa at the time. But the difference is the tempo. And if you overplay it and you're not dangerous enough to turn, because you have to, the passes that he played, if you look at it again, you watch that game in slow motion, where back to where he's facing or the sideway pass. With the difference with Umukwena was that if he receives it, he will know that I have to turn. I have to be dangerous to these people this other side. Otherwise, Al-Ahly, Esperance de Tunis, Raja Casablanca is going to be happy because you're playing many different competitions. This is important for you, but it is important as well that whatever you're doing here, you always have to ask the question, can I be able to do this and be threatening in Africa as well? Yeah,
to be honest with you, there's the game model changes in between Africa and the PSL. I think even the coach did say this. He said he'll try and slow things down in the PSL so that he can try and open the team. But for me, I look at the detail. I look at the detail of playing Ukutse and Umabue there. I'm saying to myself, Ukutse is slow. Plays the game tempo yake, but now you need a runner. You need someone who's got legs in midfield. What was the responsibility Kamabue today Nkuleko? It was to recycle. He became a recycler. Recycling meaning mela cover my position la my full backers or vacate. But for me, Utiwane today bigger consolidator. He stayed allowing Umrena to play as high as possible with him on both wings. No Renas. But for me Nkuleko, I look at that and I say there's a progression there. There's a ladder of progression because Ungacheka, it looks like we are not doing something, but we are trying to shift because Kevin Hunt in Tayenzile is let's play on the second phase. Let's not play on the first phase in the first half. Let's not press the center backs. Let's not press the goalkeeper. Who do we focus on? We focus on the 2-1, which creates a 3. They focus on the two midfielders, which is Umabue, no Kutse. So they were always playing under pressure. The other one, we are shifter in between. Where was the space in Kuleko? The space is away from the pressure. In the high pressure zone, they made it sure good as well as break. So this is what's the responsibility of Umabue, one touch back, one touch there, they shift to the right, then this is the importance of 4 runs. You can't do that if you don't have the best goalkeeper in Africa. If you don't have one of the best technical goalkeepers in the world. I said this last season. For me, he finds lama pass lawa that breaks lines. He beats 6 players with that pass. So immediately, one touch. They are waiting for one to commit in midfield so they can find the pass behind the midfield. I think they found Ribeiro a couple of times. He was the only one who was dynamic. I was move half space and get a center. Sometimes I collect and trying to do something. Urenas tried that, but let's be honest, that's not his quality. That's not the profile of the player. He's a goal scorer. We saw in the second half when he was in the box, one touch finish. But for me, Urenas was a missing link in that position. If we had Mshishi, if we had a Opri, passenger in second half. Thinking brain cancel. We needed that. Ulodge as well when he came in second half. For me, even the 10 minutes I now spark. There's something in Boni Langat. Okay, the attitude is better from the boy. The boy really wants to play. He wants to do well. But for me, center back pairing Libusa, Grand Kekana, top class. Zero mistakes. This is Mamelodi Sundowns even under the last 3 years.
Is it top class even when you're not being asked questions? Yeah. We have to admit that that's not Sundowns' fault. Gavin Hunt decided not to play. Yeah. And we even said at halftime when we were doing analysis that if we're going to see anything here, we're going to see it from Sundowns. Otherwise, we are doomed as the audience, as a viewing audience. So is it a great performance even when you're not being asked questions?
Yeah,
for your centre backs?
Yeah, let's give credit to Nkulego because for me, it's also about the speed of the brain. It's also about anticipation as well. I think the anticipation was good because they did try a couple of times diagonal follow-up because we know in that chain system that they use, the Italian chain system that they use, that they've got attacking principles as well. The attacking principle is to play on the first ball and on the second ball, but it's not just a long ball. It's a long ball that goes diagonal wide in between our centre back and our full back, cause problems. They work on the second ball, find the final pass. That was lacking. For me, Abo Grant and Abo Libusa, they read that situation top today. But Kulego, let's talk about Ribeiro as well. I think he's going to be a special player. I think he's one of the players that are going to be nominated for a Footballer of the Year, for me, in my opinion. Shalulile hasn't got any game time, needs more game time. There's a lot of things in Kulego Shalulile Mela's improve, more especially with that pass runs. I told her, I said initially, maybe this is one of the reasons why Rulani wanted to bring Umabas. Maybe we needed someone who was ukhlala, aphina ma center back, simfiti ball enyaweni, istrength leyo muntu mela kwazi ukubamba ibhola. So sifuna umuntu okwazi ukudlala ngegood first touch, umuntu onama wall passer good. So for me, I think Shalulile, even no Reyners, that's not his strength. That's why Reyners played much better in second half when they started shifting him in the box, where he was more, he needed one touch now to finish. But for me, great performance from Lentuza, Ribeiro. On and off, Shalulile. Reina's poor first half, in my opinion. He started picking up when he was dropping in the central areas.
Is that not a detail you should have known in the first place, that you can't play Reina? It's the same with Shalulile. You can't ask him to play. The coaches should know that this is the player that you're signing. You're not signing, there's Antonio van Veek on the left-hand side, there's Devin Titus on the right-hand side, so that Reinas can only play centrally. And even at Supersport United, when it was in Pretoria before, he was being played wide. And when you give him the wide responsibility, you are asking him to make decisions, to think. And you could see in some moments, I said, that as he receives the ball, his instinct is to try to cross it. He doesn't even have this thing of, let me cool it down, cut in to my right-hand side, see whoever's on the D-line, I could lay it off there. His instinct is to be in a rush all the time when he's on the wide side. Is that not something that you should have known in the first place if you're doing your proper scouting?
Yeah, for me, take player profiling here. Remember, we spoke about squad auditing. This is a player profile. For me, how do you profile a player? You profile the player's qualities and what is best position. Playing, more especially, comes from Cape Town. Most of Cape Town players have struggled to play in Joburg. Play him in a comfortable position. I think the idea was the similar idea or similar profile to what Tutu Priest offers the Chiefs. Playing on the left but cutting in. A diagonal run to create ube halftime. But Nkulego, one of the reasons why I think he played there, Coach Mangoba, and that we were speaking about while we were watching the game, I think the coach is humble. I think the coach listens. I think the coach is listening to the people that he's working with. I think he's getting the right advice as well, because he's going back to Lea Diamond again. Allende, Ukutse, who was in midfield again? Mabue. And then Ribeiro was acting like a 10. If you check out the whole first half, he was always central, more like a number 10. Then you had two of these players, Umabu and Allende, would probably obviously shift or swipe it to the left or swipe it to the right. But for me, I look at the detail, Nkulega, and I say they've gone back to the diamond. And the diamond requires you to play quick and pacey strikers. That's why for me, the front three today, the profile was we want pace, we want people who can run behind, but also as thinking, Lapayan. because we just need one final pass and then run it through. I think we got the first chance where Renas in the first half, we had Dlalang outside foot. I think there was 2 of those balls. I Dlalang outside foot. We couldn't score those opportunities. But for me, the big change came in the second half, Nkulego. In the 70th minute and in the 80th minute when we made those substitutions. The substitution kamshishi, Ganzo. But the Bodox wine, Nkulego. Hayi Nkosi yami, ayila muntu wazibhola ubonile sasithenda Nkulego. But the Bodox wine. But what makes that one special Nkulego is the fact that ilonge GVT, experience, intelligence, space coordinator. I cannot stop praising Umshishi, one of the best talent. For me, he came in the game, Pegalea one touch, Renas, wonderful finish with his left.
I can't get over the wine part. It's like, you're confusing the football audience. They don't drink wine, but pose him bamba one bepol. So you're confusing them. Let's talk about, well, Bob tried to address this. So don't bring politics into Sundowns. But it is true that you don't have Mukwena, you don't have Mutau. There is an issue percolating there. Maybe let's avoid that. Let's look at Mbule. Let's talk about his situation. We don't know much other than the fact that it is now rumored that he could be going to Sekhukhune. Well done for the win to Sundowns.
Yeah.
We've analyzed the game. Congratulated Sundowns. Supersport United offered nothing. Now, I have you next to me, and I have to ask you this question. Mbule, if he goes to Sekhukhune, what does that make sense to anyone? When I read that with our people at iDiskiTV Times, our journalists reporting it for me it didn't make sense. I think we saw him in the stands. He was present tonight as well. Just summarize for me, like what's your feeling about that situation, and if it materializes, what it would mean for his career as well.
Kulego. Hey, we first lost a generational coach. Now we are losing a generational talent. I am Mbule star. For me, Nkulego, I look at the situation of the boy. Probably it's things that are outside the field. Because
it's not performance
no. It has nothing to do with talented kangaganan. No, it might be off the things. Maybe untu show behavior or whatever the case may be. But for me, I look at that situation. I say, if he really wants to make a move himself, because I saw when I read it said he needs to agree to the move. Good move for his Sekhukhune. Obviously, they would do anything to get Mbule. Who wouldn't want Mbule? But for me, Nkulego, I am saying if I'm Mbule, ibane Arrogance kancane. Reject that move. Wait for Kaizer Chiefs. We've got 3 more days. I'm sure Kaizer Chiefs can put it off. Will Mamelodi Sundowns be willing to loan Kaizer Chiefs? Maybe it's a deal that cannot happen.
I wouldn't sell to Chiefs.
For sure.
If I was Sundowns or to Pirates, because you're strengthening competition.
But if I'm the boy and I'm the agent's boy, Nkulego, this is a simple deal. The club wants to release me. I'm not part of the coach's plans. Arrogance. Release and then so that I can go and find a team for myself. Because for him going to his Sekhukhune, I think it's a Shamfani's confidence when I'm going to I think the best move the boy can take is Kaizer Chiefs. I think this is the right time, and the Kaizer Chiefs needs that player. They need that level of
Sundowns is not willingly going to do that to strengthen the Kaizer Chiefs. They already saw from the weekend Sereno, and you're like, oh my word, we just strengthened these guys. You know, that would be Sundowns' perspective, because all the headlines were about Sereno, and rightfully so. So I wouldn't imagine that Sundowns would voluntarily give Chiefs a great player like that.
Kulego, is this a problem in South African football? Discipline is something that we can fix, Kulego.
We can't do that.
You know, but it's something that we can probably we
cannot do that. We can mitigate against it. We can try things. This country in the past 30 years, players have shown us flames, bro, and clubs have developed a serious impatience with that. It is up to us to convince the players. Don't give clubs reasons to fire you. Not the other way around. We can't convince clubs to tolerate players who are mercurial. We're not saying anything about Mbule anyways, because we don't know much.
No,
we only know what has been reported before with the situation here in Abuja, for example, if you remember that. But it is up to the players themselves to understand that if you're going to be a footballer, be Mufukeng, but don't be problematic to Pirates, for example.
For sure.
You know, because clubs are no longer tolerating that kind of behavior, and they tolerate it 1 or 2 months, but eventually they just get rid of you because it becomes a headache for the clubs as well. But so let me ask you, transfer window, if it closes, do you foresee Mbule still at Sundowns or Sekhukhune?
I think he'll go to Sekhukhune, Nkulego. I think he might go to Sekhukhune. But for me, Nkulego, this is the thing. Just we close. For me, I know we are speaking about discipline. The clubs have been fed up with these boys. But for me, I look at that and I say to myself, but this is a thing. That's why there's too many average players in the PSL. But
we can't tolerate mercurial players. But I'm not, like, let's say, like in our for sure. In our situation as we are working here, let's say that any of us had a problem, like there are days that they're going to come and shoot these videos, and then there are days where they're not going to come and shoot these videos. I know the clubs are bigger, they have more money, we can't even compare ourselves to them, but I'm just saying, at a level where you have to work with people and it's unpredictable whether or not they're going to come serious, whether or not they're going to come sober, eventually clubs in the past 20 years, these clubs, bro, they were tolerant 20, 30 years ago. They were tolerant of material players. But now my stance is any player who's watching this, I'm trying to convince you to toe the line because I want you to do well as a player. Just know these teams are not going to tolerate it anymore. They are done.
No.
And I agree with you that we end up not having good, talented players in the league. But those talented players just need to know that you're so talented that we need you on the field. We need you in training as well.
Please, Nkulego. Because also, I agree with you. Because big clubs won't tolerate that behavior. Remember, it's about winning. And Coach Peter said something very profound. He said, he needs a quiet dressing room because a quiet dressing room wins football games.
Yeah.
And the Mbule and the big clubs operate like this. One bad potato must be out of the door. You might find that he's a bad influence on the pitch, but he's a young boy for me, in my opinion. Very talented. What the play, top player. For me, I look at Mbule and I say to myself, this is a proper international player for me. He's got good technique. Very good on a dead ball situation. He's got a pass in him. He's got the brain. But I don't know what is wrong. And I hope if the boy does get a chance to listen to this, I hope the move as Tata to his Sekhukhune is gonna because for me, I look at he should be playing in one of the big teams. He's already in a big team, but he should be a starter. For me, in my opinion, he should even be a national team player as a starter. Because we always speak about players playing in a progressive line. We want to pass in a progressive line. That's what
it's
Mbule
normal
says.
for Mbule.
Mbule, that's his thing.
Yeah.
You know, so many players have heavy ceiling. Many players are box to box. I'm a recycler. They can occupy. They are important to coaches, technical people. But when you are a footballer or when you are a person that wants to watch football, you want to watch a player like Mbule. You don't want to be watching football sometimes like a coach, where you are looking at the technical things that Umkoena is doing, where he's covering, he's winning a match wells. Sometimes you need the brain. Umuntu ozokwazi ukuthena kuma half space, adlala ibhola go high pressure zone. You understand? I don't know if you saw the last 10 minutes. Unbelievable football. Some of the best football I've seen since Coach Rulana Hambil. The last 15 minutes, Mamelodi Sundowns for me. But just to close, I just want to give props to some Supersport United players. Sinoka for me had a very, very good game. Dealt no Ribeiro 1v1.
Remember when we were doing development football, always shouting to defenders, stand up, don't go down, stand up, keep your head up, don't go down. And that's all he did when he was dealing with Ribeiro. Stand up, keep your head up, don't go down. And that's what it did. He was forcing Ribeiro to make the first move. And most of the time, Ribeiro was failing in making the first move against Usenoka.
First rule of a defender, stay on your feet.
Yeah.
Love their left back, Neo Rapo, I think is a talent. Covered so much distance. Love Ime Kona. Also, stay on your feet, very comfortable on the ball, good decision making. Beba protect to Slashwa, Beba Dala a 3. Babies are the chain. You know, Beba Dala a 3. For me, the game plan, this is the thing about this style of play, sometimes in the problem now, is that immediately after conceding, then what? Then what? This is the problem now, Coach Kevin. Respect to Matal. He's done incredible things for South African football. But for me, modern football, I'm careful.
Yeah, for sure, I agree with you. Let's wrap it up then. Thank you very much to Lindo. That's Mamelodi Sundowns winning or defeating Supersport United. We hope you enjoyed these videos. Of course, we have to extend them, talk about interesting things as well. But most importantly, if you're going to be satisfied with the way that the match was analyzed as well, on top of the other things that we keep on mentioning on the videos as well. Try to make it a full experience for you. If you are here at this point in the video, that means you've enjoyed from minute 0 to this point in the video, and really appreciate you. iDiskiTV, Times, World Sports Betting. Thank you for watching us.